What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Clown blog. Day 2, recovering from jaw surgery. Listen, this medicine has made me sleepy all day, y'all. I've been trying to fight it. I'm here. I'm here. So listen, you see the title of the video. Y'all are moving to making and don't know it. I'm not trying to be funny, but I am. There are so many things that I try to implement in here and share with you guys because I'm in other development groups and construction groups and groups that teach on a lot of stuff. So I'm just trying to give you guys heads up of what's already being taught to me, and I know in advance where it's coming. Now, 9 times out of 10, I've been saying you're moving to Macon out of Georgia, Atlanta for about 3 years now, and everybody's like, "Oh, Erica, cut it out," right? And I am telling you, they're building Atlanta. They keep saying Atlanta of the New York of the South and all this stuff because they actually that's the plan for it, right? But let me go ahead and pull up some maps and get you guys through. Now, also, I forgot to mention, you'll see it on the community wall. What you'll see is a list. If you have a Gumroad account, we'll be putting up about 10 ebooks on Gumroad coming up in the next 2 weeks. If you have a Gumroad account and you'd like to promote any of our products and services, we'll get you 50% commission. So I make a sale, you make a sale, right? Like, well, you post it on your page with your link, I make a sale half half. So it's a pretty good deal. There's thousands of people on our email list. There's 15,000 on one email list, 5 on another. I'm going to offer it to anybody who has a Gumroad account. If you have a Gumroad account, all you need is have your email logged in and registered over there, and you give us that email. We will set you up with an affiliate. So there'll be a like a jot form or something somewhere, either on the community wall or one of our next videos that you can fill out, and that will let us put us in there. So again, let's go ahead and Diamond Day's been telling the same thing too. I mean, listen, I've been saying it for 3 years. I know because I know. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead. You know, we've done several videos on Atlanta and how they're changing and restructuring and gonna move y'all up out of there. And so some of y'all are like, Erica, cut it out, knock it off, right? So I'm ready to show you why I keep saying this. Okay, so let's watch this video first, and then we'll watch the second map.
Texas to I-20 in Augusta, Georgia. Interstate 14 will travel through Georgia's major fall line cities, which include Columbus, Macon, and Augusta. This route will not only connect 3 of Georgia's major cities, but it will also create an alternative route for truckers and travelers that usually go through Atlanta. I-14 will also serve truckers traveling to and from Savannah's ports. This project has been advocated by Frank Lumpkin and the Youth Infrastructure Coalition. They've traveled to different cities along the route to raise awareness of the route's importance. As this project comes to life, it will not only ease congestion in Atlanta, but bring great economic growth to the fall line cities in Georgia. Georgia is getting a new interstate. The proposed Interstate 14 will journey from I-10 in Texas to I-20 in Augusta, Georgia. Interstate 14 will travel through Georgia's major fall line cities, which include Columbus, Macon, and Augusta. This route will not only connect 3 of Georgia's major cities, but it will also create an alternative route for truckers and travelers that usually go through Atlanta. I-14 will also serve truckers traveling to and from Savannah's ports. This project has been advocated by Frank Lumpkin and the Youth Infrastructure Coalition. They've traveled to different cities along the
Okay. Listen, I'm going to show you the map now. Because this has been actually going on for 20 years. But guess what just happened? The Biden infrastructure bill 2021 has pushed it through. Okay. Now, I can tell you I'm in Texas and they've already started building parts of the road here. But y'all don't believe me. So let's go ahead and go show you the documents. All right. And why is this happening? Okay, y'all really didn't pay attention in 2021. Y'all just heard PPP and all that other stuff, and that's fine. Cool. Let's go ahead and look it up. This is the Gulf Coast Strategic Highway Coalition, right? Let's go ahead and do it. Years of work, years have gone by, and they've been talking about this for years, right? Now, guess what happened? Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. November 15, 2021, the president signed off on a $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, also known as the 2021 Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill. Most segments of here, okay, now why is this important? This will be a 1,300-mile path will require billions of dollars and many years to complete, but we are on our way. Now, many of you are going to say, Erica, this is going to take just, this will take the next 5, 10, 15 years. Of course. Now, some parts are going to be done before other parts, best believe. But I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the fact that when I tell you I'm in groups where people are already, they're parts of this infrastructure bill and a green bill that Biden signed off on, they're already starting companies and taking advantage of the incentives that will go with multiple companies. If you saw me on Todd Milley's mastermind the other day, I literally told y'all part of why I'm starting particular two companies and we're able to purchase one and start another one because of these incentives that are already in the pipeline and ready to go. Ready to go. Now, look at these cities along here. Now, I'm not trying to talk crazy to y'all. Every one of these cities were horribly affected by Black people per se leaving, okay, and floods and other things. Now, you have the Port of Arthur and Port of Beaumont. Go look up Beaumont. Go look up how poor the houses are. Go look up all the Black people that live there. You do the math. Go look up Port of Gulfport. That's different. That's different than other ones, right? Now, this is going to go all the way across to who? Savannah. Now, why is that important? Because Charleston is now a tourism boom mecca. They need Savannah to get some of that money, to get the monkey off their back. You can go look at San Angelo. Been dead out there. Midland, Odessa is all Texas oil booming bust. Killeen, they've been building up Killeen for a while now, okay? Temple, I can go right down the street and tell you where Temple's at. Bryan College Station, which is Texas Aggies, okay? Jasper, Texas, where many horrible things happen. I don't know if you can Google this. You can Google this on your own time. I'm not going to bring it up, but we know what happened in Jasper, Texas. Alexandria, Pinesville, Natchez, Mississippi. All right, Laurel, Selma, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus has been struggling. Macon, Georgia has been struggling. Augusta, Georgia has the cool little things they've been playing in the infrastructure bill. That's why you can fly your jet into there during Tiger Woods in the playoffs. The golf stuff for 2 weeks and not be taxed. You can rent your house out for 2 weeks and not be taxed. Why? Because that town decided that. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm sitting inside of groups for the past 3 years who all of a sudden they left Ohio, investing in Ohio, investing in Detroit, investing in Cleveland. They started heavily investing in Augusta and Macon and Columbus. Now, if you talk to them, you're like, why are we doing this? Why are y'all investing in these places? This is 2 years ago. This is how I want y'all to understand how big this is. Okay? They've been investing in these areas for 2, almost 3 years now. So what will happen? What will happen if I start pouring construction money into Columbus, into Macon, into Augusta? I'm also going to do what? I'm going to pour police money. I'm going to have bond referendums. I'm going to level neighborhoods. I'm going to change whole roadways. What happens to towns that people used to drive through? Right? You ever see Buc-ee's and Quick Trips and stuff like that? Why people start buying up the Quick Trip finances and Buc-ee's start buying up along the highways? Every bit of this little road, you're going to see Buc-ee's, you're going to see Quick Trips, you're going to be seeing 7-Elevens. I don't know if y'all remember what happened to the highway Route 66 when they took all that money from Route 66. It just was killing those towns, right? Because they lost the trucker money. This is what's about to happen. Look, like literally, I'll put this link in the chat. I don't care. I want you guys to understand, like when people say, "Oh, this doesn't matter. This isn't happening tomorrow," baby. These people are gonna have their construction companies with work for the next 5 to 10 years. This is why when I tell y'all to start construction companies, start LLCs, start service businesses now, so that when they come along and say, "Oh, we got this government contract and we've got to find 52 Black people to do ABCD," but you have to have your business rolling for at least 2-3 years. You can't hop up in 2024 and be like, "I'm ready now. I'm ready now." No, that's not how that works. This is partly why too people buy shell corporations, so they can have the age say, "Oh no, we've been in business since 1987, 2001, 2002." This is why people do that. And that's what's about to happen in every one of these areas. If you're in Beaumont and you know anything about Beaumont, my personal trainer's from there. Like, baby, they coming through. Y'all had a flood. Wholesalers be buying up Beaumont. People be buying up. There's a person in one of the groups I'm in now. He bought up a property in Beaumont for 15K because of course it had some flood damage, but they're gonna come through these places. So I want you to study these maps. If you live anywhere near these particular places, be smart, be ready, but be smart. If you take my tax lien course, you can see we have reports from people who bought up land in Macon. We have 2 or 3 people giving reports where they bought land in Macon for $1,000, turned around and sold it to builders for 30K. But when I talk about tax liens, y'all roll your eyes. When I talk about tax deeds, you stealing houses from grandma. When I'm telling you, you can buy vacant land for pennies on the dollar and quiet title your deed and keep it moving about your life. But y'all don't want to hear that. That doesn't interest y'all. That's not sexy. That's not flipping cash. So I'm just giving you this information because when I said y'all moving to Macon and y'all don't even know it, I'm telling you, they've been setting up, and many of the investor groups I'm in are talking about how they're going to build low income housing in these areas for years. Right? But at least 5 years ago, I heard someone talking about, hey, we got to build this in Macon. And I'm like, Macon, Georgia? What's in Macon? I had no clue. I had to start studying Macon. And then that's when some of our tax lien students start studying Macon. There's 2 or 3 other Black women who take whole tours of Black people to Macon to buy the tax deeds. Why? Because parts of Georgia, you have to be in person to buy the tax deed or tax lien, depending on the city. Because the little old boys trying to keep that old power together. Okay? So when I tell y'all something, you can just let it roll through your ears and it don't matter. And I'm like, okay. I'm sitting in different groups where I'm like, okay, why are we buying this? Why are you buying 7 properties for 60K out of Augusta each? Okay. What are we doing with those? Oh, okay. This was about to happen. No problem. No problem. South Carolina's going to greenlight it hard. Why? Because South Carolina and North Carolina make billions of dollars off I-95 coming through there. Billions. And North Carolina and South Carolina don't play. If you mess up a contract with them and the government on any of their highways, they ban you from the state. They ban you from bidding on other contracts in the state. So I'll see here in Texas a bunch of North Carolina, South Carolina stickers on trucks that are working on the highway, and I already know what happened. You got banned. They banned you. Cool, no problem. Now, why is this happening? Why is this important? And how can you make money off it? Because that's really the biggest thing of this whole thing. Right? There you go. Oh, hey, I see major military bases. You already know. Macon bought up already. Nah, there's still some Macon out there now. Augusta's a gold mine for Cyber Command. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Augusta is the model for new tech cities. Ding, 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 ding. Tam, you got to come back on for some Tech Tuesday. You got to come talk to our Facebook group. Our Facebook group's at 37,000 now, y'all. It's insane. Air Force, GA Tech, Gov contract. Yeah, all this stuff. People be just, oh, the town's dying. And I'm like, all right. See, when the military wants the money, we don't question it. When it's the military in combination with multiple states and the Republicans and pushed it through with all that pork, baby, it's coming through. Fort Benning, Columbus, there you go. Robbins Air Force Base outside of Macon, and a major cybersecurity investment by the Army. I'm telling y'all. I live in Augusta looking at some tasty investment opportunities. Yeah, but Augusta been jumping for what, 6 years now with the golf course and them parking them private planes out there during the golf tournament. Like, it's been jumping. If you in some of these mastermind events, if you in some of these real estate groups, they've been investing in there. Same thing with Huntsville, Alabama. They've been investing in Huntsville about 10 years now. Right? NASA and Space Force are in Augusta. They sure are. And Space Force is where also here in Austin, Texas. Okay. So I'm sitting here telling y'all, like, when I talk about don't look at it as a disrespect thing that you won't be able to stay in Atlanta. Trust me, they got that Republican dude in there for a reason. They're going to make that state jump. By now, the ATL are all over in Alabama. They in Alabama. They've been in Alabama. Like, when I was there doing Red Cross work, dudes were talking about how they drove up an hour and 30 minutes to Atlanta to go get girlfriends. You know? The crime in Columbus, I don't know, but they about to get some help. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Welcome, Anthony Jackson, to you club. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff behind the member paid wall. It'll be more stuff. Just because as we move and groove next year, things will be different. Let me see. I worked the Space Force contract in Macon. Come on, I'm just telling y'all. There's whole streets where I saw 7 lots on one street available for purchase, and I be telling people, and they be like, "Oh, Erica, what's that mean?" I'm like, "Okay, you get a piece of land for 1,000, build some low income housing on it, sit on it for what 5 years. Now you got a different conversation. Different conversation. So, what is the importance of this, and why do I y'all think I bash on Atlanta a lot? I talk about this because this is where, when we talk about government contracts, when we talk about, they're not giving black business owners any money, all this other stuff is crazy. So again, 1990s, they had already started a lot of this stuff, getting these areas ready in the 1990s with studying the paperwork. Now in 2021, they're like, okay, we're ready. So what's happened since 1990s in half these areas? You already know what time it is. So again, I'm gonna read some more of this to y'all, so I don't, so you don't be like, Eric, what are you talking about? The first section of I-14 corridor in Texas was approved by Congress in 2015. 25 miles of freeway from Killeen to Fort Cavazos, which is Fort Cavazos now, to I-35 in Central Texas became I-14 in 2017. Yes, you can go look this up right now. Exists right now. That's what I told y'all. This road already exists. Anyway, 2021 law expanded the Texas designation to include San Angelo and Midland, Odessa. Now I can tell you what happened. Oil money came in and sprinkled some lobby money, because ain't San Angelo, it's way out there. Midland, Odessa, they're dying. They're basically, anytime the oil and gas has an issue, they be dying. Okay. So it includes 4 north-south future intersection spurs that will connect I-14 to Interstate 10, which is important, and serve the port of Corpus Christi, the port of Houston, the ports of at Beaumont, and Port Arthur. This is important. Beaumont's been struggling financially. Pretty much the only thing you could do in Beaumont was work at the oil refineries and Amazon or something like that, right? So in Port Arthur, it also adds 5th North Star spur connecting to the port of Gulf in Mississippi. Plus, the designation includes future interstate loop in Bryan College Station. Why? Because that Texas Aggie A&M done put their money on that lobby too. Okay, let's keep rolling. Brian Babin of Woodsville, Texas, has been carrying the I-4 legislation entering Congress since 2015. Oh boy, has been holding on to this thing since 2015, and he not playing. That's what he's sent there to do. That's all he's here to do. This will be the thing of his life. Trust me. Some of these congressmen ain't got nothing else to do. They running, they telling their towns, they telling the cities, I'm here to bring y'all to port. Send me back, and keep sending them back. The latest version of legislation was included the House Transportation Bill that passed early in 2021. It became the basis of an amendment offered. What does that mean? That means they were going to pass this bill. The only way this bill is going to get passed is if they let this pass with Senator Raphael Warnock. Remember Warnock of Georgia that we made fun of? Baby, Warnock was put in place on purpose, okay? I-14 designation had the support of all 10 senators and every member of the House along the corridor. Who didn't want some money for their district? Come on. The Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia State Departments of Transportation, that's DOT, and 14 Metropolitan Planning Organizations, MPOs, all provided letters to Congress supporting the new interstate corridor. Let me tell you something. Go find them MPOs, because they got the money and they're going to let it out to their friends and family first, and then whoever they choose, okay? The Gulf Strategic Highway Coalition worked closely during the successful effort with the Youth Infrastructure Coalition, which successfully built the community support across Georgia and Alabama. They trying to make it like Georgia and Alabama was the holdouts. They weren't. Anyway, in years ahead, elected officials and community leaders along the I-14 must work to win funding for planning and construction of products on the corridor. Work that must be done with Congress, U.S. Department of Transportation in each state, which each state's legislation. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means they have to keep agreeing and getting the pork spread evenly, because Texas already did their part. And I already know where this is. I can tell y'all where this is right now. The I-14 Central Texas corridor was authorized in 2015. Generally following the US 190, the first 25 miles they already did it in Texas. They're like, we done. What's up? Who's next? At Belton, which was added in 2017, this authorizes new interstate. All right, which basically means, hey, we done did our part. Y'all keep it rolling. All right, so coalition chairman John Thompson, formerly county judge of Polk County, Texas, notes that the expanded 114 will provide greater efficiency and movement of freight. Now, can y'all see this? I try to make this as big as possible, but it's going to get blurry. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. So the blue, okay, the red is done. Do y'all see the red? Red is done. It got done with the first act, okay? The blue is what got approved and paid for in 2021. Now the dots, the red dots that you can see is the port here, Port Christie, Port Gulf, okay? All the way over here, Port Savannah, way far right. These are military ports. Okay? The red is done. Texas has done its part. It keeps telling you about that one road, but they've already dug up all this road right here. It's already connected. So the blue is what is now on everybody else's turn because Texas done did their part. Now it's on everybody else. Now there is some blue lines that you can barely see here, and I apologize for this. This is just not as clear as I thought it would be. These are key corridor and support connectors. What does that mean? If you got any money in these towns, you coming down from Killeen, outside Austin, on this, there's a road right here. They already have it. Going through Seguin, they've already built this road, y'all. Through on the edges of San Antonio, right here. This road is already built, y'all. This road is already built. I can tell you this right now. Okay. And they built this other new road that comes right off here. I've been through it. But anyway, I'll drive it again when I go to Katy tomorrow. Now you see this other blue line. There's a few more blue lines, but this map is horrible. I'm sorry. But you go here from Montgomery down here. It's the veins. Okay. Connectors. Just connectors. As you can see, Campbell Shelby, Air Force Base. Fort Moore. Let me see if I make it smaller. No, that don't make it no better. That really don't at all. But anyway, all right. Well, that's just gonna be terrible. All right. So again, these are all military installations. All these little names that got along here. Air Force bases, all that stuff. Okay, so let me keep on moving. You can download this map and highlight it. There you go. Can't believe y'all. I was trying to figure out why it's so bad resolution. All right, kick on to this one. Anyway, it talks about 2021. Georgia got to start doing their part, and somebody else got to do their part. Let me keep going. Enhancing military value of DoD, Department of Defense facilities. So you see how they slid that pork in there? They're gonna put some money, some porkity on this for Fort Bliss at El Paso. Ugh, Fort Bliss. I mean, if you go to military and they send you Fort Bliss, just go. Never mind. Put me out. Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, same there. Fort Cavazos in Hood, that's okay. You can survive. Fort Johnson, which is in Polk, England Air Park and Camp Burgard in Louisiana. Oh God, just the horror. Camp Shelby at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Put you out your misery. Kessler Air Force Base at Biloxi. You might survive a little bit. Maxwell Air Force and Fort Rucker, and they call it Fort Rucker in Alabama. Ooh, I've been there too. Fort Moore Benning at Columbus, the hood. Fort Robbins Air Force Base at Macon, the hood. Fort Eisenhower Gordon near Augusta, and Fort Stewart near Savannah. What does that mean? These are bases that if you talk to most average people that did any time in the military Air Force, they're like, oh God, you got stationed there? God bless you. It's horror for the next 2 to 3 years till you move to your next duty station. But with this bill, they said, we're going to give y'all some pork. We're going to clean it up. We're going to grow your areas. Because right now, Fort Bragg, Killeen, Fort Hood, and maybe Alaska's base is usually pretty fun for people. They don't suffer as much in Alaska. There's another bit like Nebraska. Oh, it's one of those Air Force bases in Nebraska. People are like, God, dog, I got Nebraska. There's also Air Force Base near St. Louis. It's like, ugh. Trying to think. Oh, at least it's not the one in New York that's in the middle of nowhere. That's awful. I drove through there. It's awful. Virginia, anywhere, Virginia, Maryland, Fort Meade, Maryland, any of those places you can survive. You're not gonna die. But some of these right here, these are like the worst. These are where they put trainings and stuff where nobody want to go for the week. It's like, ugh. Again, let me keep on moving. All right. So it was originally developed to focus better on connecting Fort Johnson, Fort Cavas, which is Fort Hood, Fort Bliss to designated strategic ports on the Texas coast. There's a reason, okay? Since 2000, the generation military base commanders and their community supporters have stressed that the I-14 and its coastal connectors will provide invaluable, redundant capability to move military equipment to and from strategic deployment points. They made it clear that mobility and connectivity is important value to these military bases. I don't know what they're getting ready for, but they're getting ready, baby. All right, January 2022. All right. That basically the consultant team said they already went on and did their work. Let's keep on going. They already did their work. They did their work. It's basically what they're saying this whole thing. Let's keep on going. They did a feasibility study, and this is going over to the next area. So they got 115 miles going. Let's keep going. Now, the study they did in 2018 recommended that it runs on I-35 from current terminus, which is Belton, which I've seen it, and it continues up to Rogers. Upgrade projects are in development. So they've been tearing up the road for a long time out here anyway. But you can see it like this. So it looks stupid because they haven't finished making it a straight line. So you're seeing should be like this, but it's goofy. This is a study area. What's the impact? How will it help? All this other stuff. Okay. New law. Okay. The law designated that it's a high priority in the 2021 Jobs Act bill. Okay. Let's go on down some more. Now, again, they done told Louisiana, y'all need to go ahead and hurry up. That's what this is. Okay, now they told Mississippi, please hurry up. Alabama, they done told Alabama, can you please hurry up? And they're saying they're going to connect it to some of their other roads they already had before, which means they're going to be cheap and cheap out. All right, so Middle Georgia is like, okay, now they going to Mississippi. Mississippi is giving people a hard time. Y'all can read this on your own. But again, Killeen, Texas, all this stuff, y'all. I'm not about to read this whole thing to y'all. The point of this is, okay, that they've been working on this since 2015, but even before that. Okay, so if you're a company and you want to get some of this money that the government is going to shell out for the next 20 years, really the next 10 to 15 years, this is your time to shine. Okay. You can go through reading all this stuff. It talks about how Killeen and Texas already done did their part, and they're just so proud of the part they did, and you can read it. And they just waiting on Mississippi now to do its part. Let me see if the high resolution map looks any better. Oh yeah, that's better. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Oh no, you can't. Let me share it. Let me share it the right way. Okay. Let's see. Let me do it again. Okay. This is the high resolution map. I think this should be better. Y'all let me know one in the comments if this is better. Because that looks better to me. Now you see how far Fort Bliss is over there? To all the way Savannah, Port of Savannah. Now look at all the bases it hits along the way. Okay. Fort Stewart, Robbins Air Force Base, Fort Moore, formerly Fort Benning. They changed these names because of the Civil War and all that other stuff. Fort Eisenhower, which is formerly Gordon. God bless them. Maxwell Air Force Base. These are terrible names they gave y'all. I'm going to keep calling this place Fort Rucker. I don't care what y'all call it. Kessler Air Force Base. Camp Shelby. Down there in that Mississippi. But y'all can have that part. Fort Johnson. Fort Bellegarde. England Air Park. Okay. Speed up a little bit here. Anything East Texas, y'all can have it. I don't go through these parts of East Texas if I don't have to. I don't even stop for gas. I'd be like, I'll just run out of gas but then you get to Louisiana, it's just as poor and terrible. So I try to usually drive up here by Shreveport. This area is a little bit more decent, but it ain't not by much. Okay, so again, here's Port of Beaumont, what they call Beaumont, and so they're gonna make you loop. You know what I'm saying? They don't even want you. They ain't connect. They're just gonna loop them into it. Okay, so see how it cuts across Belton. Bryan Station. I'm here in Austin. Seguin, they got water, so they've been particular with them. It passes through San Antonio, Temple. Okay, so let's squeeze it back down a little bit. All right. They've always wanted to control the Southeast. There's a reason. Ever since slavery, they've had to. They got to rally the South. Make sure y'all act like y'all got some sense down here. Okay, did everybody see this map? Can everybody see this? I hope you can see this. Okay. Let me see. What are your comments that I missed? I'm sorry. Fort Benning, Robbins. Oh, for sure. I live in Augusta. Okay, yep. I saw that earlier. I keep hearing about a place called Grovetown. I don't know that place, but look it up. Fort Benning is now Fort Moore, just like Fort Hood is Fort Cavazos. What's funny is when you go look up stuff on the road on the map, the GPS still says Fort Hood. It's ridiculous. Philip, yeah, my personal trainer is from Beaumont. He has family down there, and that's the same thing, you know. Um, it's been dying for decades, but guess what? They're getting ready to pump hundreds of millions of dollars in road construction. So some of those guys that would work for cheap anyway are going to be on that road working for cheap. So unfortunately, yes, I seen a video talking about how poor Beaumont is. Is it worth investing in? No. I mean, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think so. I'm of the mind now that some things are called alligator properties, and this I didn't even know that was a term until I heard these people in this conversation say it. But he was like, "There's some areas that will never financially like improve. They'll just always be like a really poor area." And then you're gonna be always like kind of struggling for the rent. You're always gonna have to either be on Section 8 or struggling for the rent. That's kind of Detroit now, in some parts. So I would always, if I'm you, if I'm in Houston, and I'm gonna just put this like this: if I'm in Houston, I'm gonna go pick 2 or 3 properties in Houston. I'm gonna find an edge area, pick that spot in Houston, and chill out because everything in Houston's not 300K yet. You know what I mean? There's a part of Houston that's still 250, 220, but you already know what kind of area it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the hood, but it's there's some stuff for sale. So I'm here for it. Listen, you already know. What's up, Oscar? Hello, Oscar from Chicago. Okay. My issue is the same areas talk trash, but the highway funds taxes they need come from California, New York, Connecticut, Illinois, Washington. Well, I mean, right now, um, California's going to be in a deficit. So is New York here shortly. But the money that comes these southeast places where people are complaining about the taxes so bad, the property tax and all the other stuff, like this money's, I mean, like Texas, Georgia, and Florida can finance these highway by itself. That's how much money's just running through these couple states. Even when it comes to DOT, like I don't know if you know about, there's a little town up there by Shreveport. They got in trouble, and the whole police station department had to get fired because they had over $72 million in forfeiture assets. So people would leave the casino area, and most people keep cash. They don't put money in banks for whatever reason. It is what it is. That's how people are, and so they would just be pulling people over and search their car and be like, yeah, we're going to take this cash and you can come fight for it. And most people don't because they're like, I'm not driving all the way back to this little nowhere town near Shreveport, near the border to fight for $500, $300, $1,000. Well, couldn't find out the whole police department for 2 weeks went to Hawaii on a vacation. They had margarita machines. They had all kind of crazy stuff. So the amount of money that moves through these highways is insane. This is why you keep seeing Buc-ee's and you keep seeing quick trips everywhere because they're making a ton of money. Y'all start working on these gov certificates like women owned, veteran owned hubs. I'm telling you. I keep telling you. Listen, let Angela tell you. Let them about Macon. They can tell you. Why wouldn't they move equipment on freight rails rather than highways? I get it, but it's really efficient. So this is a combination. It's a combination of I don't know if y'all noticed the freightways have been getting derailments forever, right? On average, even without the current weirdness of derailments, they've always had derailments. So it's kind of like this quick task force thing they're doing, where they're able to road or sea or land, they can get there, whatever. Air Force Base, Marietta, Georgia. Dobbins. Macon did restructure their 116, 175 and change. That's progress. Oh, it did? Okay, so they're already doing their part. I mean, like some of these areas they're saying is acting like they're behind. And Texas could afford to go ahead and start their project because it's Texas. Let's just go there, right? Navy. I was Orlando, upstate New York, Virginia Beach, South Bay. Man, that's the best ones. John, you had all the best places. You were chilling. That's the best. Okay. Sounds like Cairo, Illinois. Listen, I know two people up there. I know two people who stay there, and that's because they work for the VA. But that's a whole other conversation. Cairo has a long police history, but that's another conversation. That's a whole another video. I moved to Macon. I'm so much happier. My rent's cheap. It's cheap for now, April. But yeah, they moving them down there. They moving them down there. I'm looking investing in Fort Worth here. There's a hot spot. I mean, everything outside of Fort Worth is hot too. I mean, there's a place I bought land lots up there, but that's if you're in any of my courses, you've heard or my digital real estate class or Wealthy Wednesdays, I talk about. I think next week in Wealthy Wednesdays, I think it's next week. We'll talk about some of the places I've invested for land and why I'm investing there and whatnot. So, also, if you're in Wealthy Wednesdays and y'all been hitting us up about the oil investment, yes, yes, yes. I see your emails. We're going to respond. The VA's been hitting me up. I just had a form I was trying to get a lot of y'all to sign so guys could make sure you get a good deal. So, is it mostly military towns are shifting? Not shifting necessarily. Some are dying. Some of them need money. If you look at certain towns, veterans move back there to be close to the VA, and they basically, with their consistent pension, keep the town afloat. Mm. Yeah, yeah. And this is the thing. What's happening? Because most people think, "Oh, Erica, people have ATM. People aren't putting their walking around with cash, and there actually are." They just showed a whole Vice documentary and another documentary where they're at Atlanta airport, just stopping people with fancy bags, digging through their bags looking for cash, and they've seized like millions, $10 million+ in Atlanta airport with cash. And most people aren't like. There's one dude who's been fighting for 3 years to get 100K back. My mind, him is like, why do you have 100K? They're gonna stop you for 100K. 100K, bro. If you got 100K cash, you need to be flying private. You need to fly semi-private. Like, let's just really go there, brother. If you got 100K cash in your bag, go book a $500 ticket or 1,000, really, because it'll be 1,000 with some of those smaller airlines, and fly private. They ain't gonna search your bag. I fly semi-private. They literally rub a wand across your bag, walking through the metal detector. Okay, bye. Have a good day. That's why people fly private. That's why we fly semi-private. Come on, man. That's just dumb. So, there's more ATMs being put out in this country. There's more stuff because a lot of people aren't trusting banks, and 53% of our population in America is underbanked. So they're still cashing checks at corner stores, 7-Elevens, all this stuff. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of money to be made in that lower space. And so cops know this, and so they're stopping people more. Amtrak threatened to stop taking rail hubs via eminent domain because cities not keeping up the maintenance. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. I knew Macon was gonna pop. Man, I've been talking about Macon for 3 years on this channel. For sure. Yeah, well, I hope it's helpful. But I just want you to understand, like, um, can't have no more yeah, but even so, people fly all the time. Like, there was a guy who tried to self-deport himself back to El Salvador. He had $50,000 in cash, and they took his money, and they literally a lawyer fought for like 3 years to get his money back. They're like, he's self-deporting, he's going home, give this man his money. So he ended up getting his money back, but he was just going home to kind of like retire, take care of his mom. He had been in America 20 years. He was done. So I don't think people understand that people trying to leave. People trying to get up out of here. They'll self-deport themselves. They don't have to stay here. They don't have to do their retirement years here. If their mom's still alive and they in their 50s and 60s, they're gonna go home and take care of her. If they got 50K and they going back to some of these small nowhere places, that 50K will last them for 10, 15 years. If done correctly, or if they go home and buy a truck or two, or like when I was in Panama, I told myself together, I'm like, if we were to stay here and don't go back home, I would buy 2 cargo vans, 2 of these like multi-passenger vans, and I'd get a driver that take people back and forth to the airport, because people were coming there every weekend from America all over the world looking at Panama, and we paid our driver $400 for to pick up like 8-9 people, right? And so I was like, $400 is a killing, like, this is crazy. And so when I paid it, I thought about it. I'm like, if I got a driver to do this twice a day, that's 800 a day times 6 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, the math is mathing, and you're in Panama and you're living on pennies on a dollar. So I mean, you can go home and just take that money and go buy a van or go buy a little shop or whatever. Like we saw a bunch of Koreans when we were in Panama and they were checking on the Korean part store. So there's a bunch of Korean auto stores down there in Panama. Trust me, these people be putting money in different places. So, it's just a thought process, but I hope this was helpful. I'm not going to be here all night. I just wanted to tell y'all this, but when I made a joke about you guys are moving to Macon, there's already plans for 20 years worth of infrastructure bills and money that's going to move around people who have what businesses. When people say, oh, it's a recession, oh, it's almost like a depression out here, Erica. Not for people who have a business. If the business can qualify and get a government contract or do a small service, because listen, if you're going to take the most important busy guys and they're going to be working on the roads, what happens to the local small town that needs house repairs, roofing repairs, flooring repairs? I mean, again, this is why I keep saying a lot of men will go back to blue collar in the next 5 years. Everybody wants to be in tech. Everybody wants to be in the air conditioning and have soft hands. There's a ton of people, right, will not be having soft hands. They will be having to dig in the mud and the muck and on roofs. And that is where this is going. Okay. And so if you take all the most important people and you got them up in the highway, building the highway the next 5 to 10 years in different contracts, digging the road, surveying, all kind of stuff, that means whoever's left over is going to make a ton of money in the town because there's going to be backed up service calls for basic services because those guys are doing more important work. That map is basically the Chitlin Circuit. Oh, for sure. There's that guy who had a song on what is it? Dirty Dancing. And he was like, don't it make you want to cry? He used to buy up chicken and stuff. Like he would go to the grocery store, buy chicken and pork chops and all this other stuff. And the white people be like, what you doing in this store? He buy up all this food, right? And then he'd start cooking it at the vent before it was his time to sing. Like him and one or two other people would start cooking it. They make pork chop sandwiches. They make a whole place. They do chicken and biscuits and everything. And so he would come on the Chitlin Circuit with them and they wouldn't have to pay him because he was going to make all the money from selling the sandwiches. And then he got on stage and sang. It was crazy. But it was cool because it was like they could start up in any field and put a tent up somewhere in their old church or whatever. If you watch documentaries about Chitlin Circuit, it's really amazing. It's really awesome. So they had a lot of cool stuff. If you have the money, go look it up, called Atlanta Police Taking Money. Atlanta Airport Police Taking Money. So it's literally the Atlanta PD inside the airport, which is already levels of lawsuitable, right? It's unconstitutional, but that's another conversation. And they're walking around disguised as regular people, right? Like they got a hood on, they got a hat on, they're walking around, and then they say, hey, we need to stop you. We're the police. We need to look in your bag right now. And then they'll open up people's bags and they're like looking for cash. So it was happening to 3-4 people. He's like, we can take you in the back. We can detain you. You'll miss your flight. Or you can just let us look in your bag right now. That's coercion. That's illegal search and seizure. And most people don't want to miss their flight. So they wait right till it gets close to like where they're getting ready to start boarding the plane and they do it. Go look it up. They got lots of videos on it. And it's ridiculous. And this is a part 2 why I keep telling y'all I'm flying private. I'm flying more semi-private. I'm finishing my private pilot classes. Like I'm joining pilot groups because I just do the public airport is so ridiculous with people and just the stupidity. I can't take it. So you can have cash, Carmen, but what happens is people will wrap cash up in their pants or their clothes. And that triggers them to say, well, we just saw you on the TSA scan through. You had all this money wrapped up, which is what most people would do. They're going to wrap their stuff up. And so they call that concealment. So again, yeah, it's really ridiculous. Check out Four Winds Construction, Home Builders in Macon. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, get in any of these cities if you want to. You dig what I'm saying? But I hope this was helpful. Hope this made some sense for y'all. Hope you can go look up. And again, always, what is the key after this video? Go look up the economic development for your city. If you're in Macon, go to their website. Look up the city of Macon. Go look up their economic development plan. They will tell you everything they're doing, and they've been talking about in public forums for 5 to 10 years. This is how when people are like, why are you staying in Austin? Why are you investing in particular areas? I have read their economic development. The last one I read that I was super excited about, but I couldn't get in was Chattanooga, Tennessee. when Gary V had put an office there. And everybody's like, why the heck has Gary V got an office there? And this was like 9 years ago. Eight, no, not nine, maybe 8 years ago. I went and clicked on their economic development plan. I'm like, they're got to throw $1 billion into this town. Holy crap. That had already been allotted for, already been earmarked. So go into your city, whatever city you're in right now, go look up their economic development plan and decide. Because I showed y'all the video yesterday and why so many black businesses are struggling. They stay in food or t-shirts or body butters or whatever, right? Hair care, all that stuff, which can make money. But this is one of those times where if you have sons who are aimless or men in your family who can figure out how to do something, you need to be putting them in some type of trade and you need to get their butt over to some type of service or construction related business because in the next 5 to 10 years will be so short because the average man is in his 60s to 70s that do construction and farming and all that stuff. They're throwing money away, right? The current Cape Fear Farm Credit is giving you $1 million loan at 1% interest if you're a farmer under 35 or you're a woman or you're a minority farmer. That's why they keep having all these lawsuits because they're like, hey, I didn't get my $1 million. And they're like, oh, let me see what happened. Oh, Lord, let's get you your million. The government is already earmarked all this money, y'all. So the key is, are you in position to take it? Are you sitting somewhere crying, talking about UBI and how you can't get no job and all this other silly stuff? Good luck with that. That's not the plan. I'm going to read these last comments and get out of here. What does it say? I was a customs officer for 4 years. There is little to no security or checks for foreign flights where I'm from. We as officers complain about it multiple times. You already know what time it is. They doing that on purpose. Taxation without representation. The whole interstate system was built in case of war, especially nuclear war. Highways are more flexible and resilient. Bingo. How can we get from Texas to the East Coast to fight somebody? How can we get from Texas to the border? If we're all stationed in Fort Bragg, how fast can we get down to Texas to fight at the border? Which would be a very big thing, but it wouldn't happen because we're wimps on it. So anyway, all right, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Con blog. Hope this was helpful. Hope it was informative. Also, check a look. Make sure you're on the watch out for our community wall. We'll have that list for Gumroad signups, and you guys just go in there and sign up, and we'll basically go ahead and sign you up. We'll have like 10 ebooks dropping over the next 2 weeks, and these things are promoted on multiple pages. Multiple Instagram pages we have and own. And if you promote them and they click your link, hey, that money automatically goes to your Gumroad account and pays you out on Fridays. So enjoy. We love sharing it. Hey, sharing is caring. Affiliate marketing is a way to make money for everybody. So this is your girl Erica, Classy Con blog. Later.